These beats are the purest. Prove it.
These beats are the purest. the purest.
Just so you're aware, chat, we have news that the Foxians just need a 15-minute break, so we just start streaming a bit prematurely, but we will be online in the next 5-10 minutes. So thank you for sticking around and enjoy the purest too.
These beats are the purest. Prove it, prove it. beats are the purest, prove it.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Aurora Esports, final day of week 1. My name is TheLaw, and I'm here with caster WhyYouNoLife. How you feeling tonight, Life?
I'm feeling pretty good. This is my first time casting, so I can't wait to see how it goes.
I agree, and boy, what a match we have to end out the first week. Two banger teams, the Owls versus the Fox Knights. I believe I said that right. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to check because I don't know how to say words correctly. But we're gonna have a great match tonight. The Foxians, there we go. The Owls and the Foxians. I don't know why I said Fox Knights. But we're currently just getting some rosters set up, ready to go. But as we do that, I just want to highlight some really incredible players that we're gonna have here tonight. We have on the Owls the wonderful Poi, Wrecked Cactus, a well-known figure in this community. Conejo, Barbecue, and we're waiting for their 5th player as they figured out tonight. What was that? Clockwise. We're waiting just for Clockwise, I just heard from Prod. And on the other side, on the Foxians, we have Dyer, Vesk, I probably said that wrong, Akua, Jack, and War. Any thoughts on how tonight's match might go, Life?
I don't know. Honestly, I've heard some good things about both teams, and I just can't wait to see how they play out this first map on Lijiang.
I agree. I'll be really curious to see what they decide to start us on tonight in terms of comps. We've seen a bit of a diversity of comps. A lot of teams have been running kind of the rush style of either junk or ram. We've seen a little bit of dive with Diva. What do you think as we kind of see the meta begin to settle itself out? Do you think there's going to be like one comp that is preferred over the other?
I don't know. Currently, Dive is a pretty good comp this season, so I'm looking to see maybe some Diva or some Winston going all in. But we'll see, depending on if the enemy team goes Brawl, see if they can try to fight back, or maybe even a second dive, a dive versus dive.
I agree. I totally agree. I think Dive is in a good position. I've often heard a lot of players talk about how Diva is the best tank in the game right now. But one of the lingering questions is, as we're kind of new to the season, is the addition of Juno, brand new support player. And it kind of seems to have the community split. On the one hand, you have players who think Juno is the best thing since sliced bread. And on the other hand, you have players who think Juno does absolutely nothing and is worse than Lifeweaver when Lifeweaver first dropped. Any sense on where Juno might end up as we kind of start to develop this season?
I don't know. Personally, for myself, I'm seeing Juno is a little bit better than on the bad side. I do like the option of having 2 sets of speed, where you can even run a JQ comp with Lucio and Juno. But I don't know. We'll have to wait till the mid-season patch to see what they kind of do with her.
I totally agree. I've played a bit of her on ranked, and she's kind of a feast or famine character. She either does a lot of healing really, really fast and does a really great job really, really fast, or she just dies immediately. And I think the hardest part about her kit right now is that she just doesn't really have any form of self-sustain. And I think that really kind of hampers her ability right now. I think right now the comps that we've seen the most of are kind of what we've come to expect to see in Aurora Esports. That includes the comps like the Lucio Bap, Lucio Kiri, Anna Brig. Any breakout comps you think might start to make their way as we kind of see these players really begin to show off what they can do?
I don't know. Personally, with how much dive has been going on, Anna Brig is a really good contender on the team that's getting dove on. But if they're both going dive, I'm kind of looking at a Kiri Lucio even, potentially. Trying to go both into the enemy backlines as they all just mesh into one big fight.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, kind of the big mesh into one big fight. It actually reminds me a bit of GOATS back in the 6v6 days, when Brig first broke Overwatch. And I think kind of the way that we're seeing right now is if a Brig is able to stay really glued to their Ana, they just don't die. Neither support really dies. You have the nade to be able to back up both of you if you're getting low. You have Brig's cookies that does really well, or just her utility to be able to do things. I think that there's just a lot of really great synergy right now with the two of them. So I definitely think that, I think your analysis is right on that we're seeing a lot of Brig, a lot of Ana, and I think that we're going to see a lot of dive come out this season as a result. So I'll be very curious to see how backlines adapt. And then, of course, it's always going to be the DPS. All right. And so, as we get finished up here, we're going to just start getting ready for our first match. We're going to take a brief break, and we'll get right back to you.
These beats are the purest. Bro it.
Welcome back, Aurora Esports. We're just about to head into our last match of week 1 with the Owls versus the Foxians. If you're just tuning in, my name is TheLaw, joined by my host, Life. And we're about ready to get into this map. Any predictions as we get ready to head into Lijiang on what comps we might see?
I don't know if we're gonna start on maybe Garden. I'm kind of looking at a dive here, but if it's maybe if we see Tower, might be a little more brawly.
I agree, and well, looks like we're starting on Night Market of all things. So this is making me think we might see some brawly comps, maybe a little bit of Sim.
Ooh, even potentially.
The Sim is quite popular on these maps, so we're about to get a first look at what our teams are kind of throwing at us. And it looks like on the Owls, we're looking at your good old-fashioned dive comp. They're kind of teasing us with the Pharah. Maybe Clockwise goes on that Pharah with a Lucio on a back line. And on the other side, we have a ball. How long Dyer actually stays on that ball, not entirely sure. We'll see. With the Akua Ashe. I've seen Akua play Ashe. It is terrifying. Jack and Ward playing on some really solid supports. As we head into our first map, let's have some fun. Both teams start out of the gate. We start with Sim, that good old-fashioned Sim strat. And immediately Vest goes into the Genji. We see Clockwise immediately pulling on the Pharah. Both teams just poking a little bit, seeing what they can do. Clockwise has to be careful, does not have that Mercy pocket. currently we're seeing the Foxians just loop around a little bit, just a little bit of poke, seeing what they can get out of it as ball loops around. First point pressure comes in from Dire. Dire's already a little bit down. He has to immediately burn his shield just to survive, and he slams right down, taking a lot of damage, and immediately Akua smacks down on Conejo. Dire trying to even the score and trying to get that Ana, but not able to do so. Red Cactus does follow up on Akua. Scores are even. Clockwise able to find more. Dire fires up a barbecue. Clockwise, though, is able to go Jack and the best. Clockwise is on a terror right now, as it looks like a nice, solid victory for the Owls.
Yeah, honestly, I'm thinking that if we had the Foxians over here, if they kind of stick together instead of going after point right away, I think they might have been able to pick out maybe the Pharah. But now they also have Mercy on their team, so you never know what could happen here.
We always love a good Pharmacy combo. Tale as old as time, and immediately we see Dire go onto the Queen, opting a little more from that for that Brawly Clonk. Vest goes onto that Cassidy. It looks like they're pushing the guy, but Clockwise is able to find Vest. Immediately, Direly's able to follow up on Conejo. Let's see if Jack's able to get the res, and he is not. But Akua is able to get that Red Cactus, and suddenly numbers flip in favor of the Foxians. Foxians able to get Clockwise, and Akua is able to get Vengeance for that early cap, and it looks like we're going to see a pretty quick cap on here. Poi is able to get as much as he's able to get off, so Poi gets 2, and Barbecue is able to follow up on Akua, and suddenly the Owls are able to flip it on the other side. Vest is able to get Conejo. Red Cactus, though, is able to get a Vest, and it looks like out of nowhere, Poi is able to win that fight out. He came out of nowhere like a bat out of hell, and certainly able to send a few back to the underworlds.
Yeah, that on-and-8 really got me excited. They're seeing it hit 3 people was very huge. They were all kind of clustered up there in one big group that just let the Ana and Monkey kind of just come back while their whole team comes back from spawn.
Boy, a little bit of scrappy fighting. Not really any clean disengages from both teams. Dire does go down, which means that the Foxians are going to have to wait this out, and time keeps ticking up. We're getting close to last fight territory here. Not really any ults used, but Akua is able to find Clockwise early on. Whether or not Conejo is able to get someone remains to be seen, but Barbie Bob is coming out. Boy does get the nano. Conejo is able to get Clockwise, but can Clockwise escape with his life? It looks like he can. Boy is able to get effects. Nice Junker Queen on Conejo, able to take down Conejo, but Q is able to take down War, and is anyone going to be able to touch from the Foxians? Darius falls asleep, Akua is able to take down Barbecue. Clockwise goes down to Akua, Poi takes down Akua, and this is just scrappy Overwatch. You love to see it. Jack's able to bring back Akua, and Akua coming back to the fight probably means that we're going to see a first flop by the Foxians. Is anyone able to connect? And the Foxians are able to flip it late into overtime for 99 flip. Can they hold on?
Yeah, honestly, with the Owls here, I wasn't really looking at maybe when they nanoed Monkey, the Monkey really didn't know who to dive. I don't know if there's a little bit of miscommunication on their part.
Well, now we see reset pretty fair ult charges on both sides. Really, the only ults of notice are going to be Vest, High Noon, and War on this rush. Conejo with the Mercy ult might be able to do something. We see Rectus currently just kind of poking around on comp. Akua is able to take down Red Cactus, though. Clockwise is able to get Vest. Vest gets real greedy with that High Noon. And now team fights are even. 1 DP's down in peace. Let's see which support ult breaks first and has to use their ult. Clockwise takes a little bit of poke damage. Warrior goes down extremely leak. Dire has to burn that ability real quick, but Akua is able to clack down on Clockwise. We see the Valkyrie coming out. Conejo trying to get someone, but Akua is just tearing them apart. We do see the flip, however, from the Owls. Best able to get Conejo while Poi does take out Jack. Both Mercies are out of the fight, but the numbers are currently favoring the Foxians. Can they take out Poi? Poi does go down, and the flip just immediately comes back out. What a weird fight.
Yes, I completely agree. I was a little worried for the Owls here when they saw that their cast got staggered in the open as he popped High Noon. That was a little bit worrying on my part, at least when I was looking, but they were able to come back and capture the objective.
Quick re-engage. We're starting to click up to last by territory. The Foxes against have done a really good job of holding on to this point. Owls are keep poking. Floyd does have that get out of jail free card in the primal rage. Both teams just poking around right now. Clockwise goes down to Akua, though. Akua has just been detrimental on this Ash. Able to take down Cornell. The Pharmacy has been awfully useless in the face of an Akua Ash. And right now we're seeing a potential reverse flip. Poi uses that ult, and whether or not Poi can get on point in time, we see Grectus going on. Poi does still have that account, but Akua just obliterating people on this Ash, able to take down Barbecue. Clockwise able to get down 2 and a huge ult from Clockwise, but someone has to touch Poi, uses that primal rage, and suddenly the numbers do in fact favor the Foxians, and it looked like we were going to see a nice reverse split there, but it's not enough. The Owls take map 1.
Geez, that was a very long team fight there. It just felt like they didn't really dive or collapse on anybody, allowing the Owls to have their teammates come back from spawn.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, both teams took really extended fights, and near the end, it just favored the Owls more. Poi had that primal rage in his back pocket, and as any monkey player knows, that's just a jail out of free card when you dive too fast and your supports aren't able to heal you up. We're seeing similars on both sides, but Poi actually is now flexing onto the Queen, so we're looking like we're going to see some brawl comps here. Red Cactus on the May, Clockwise showing us a little bit of venture. But the real interest is Jack and War going for this Mora Lucio backline. Not one I've really seen a lot of this season so far, but I'm very curious to see how they make it work. And Fest showing us the Junkrat. Now we're in for some fun. Both teams crash into each other pretty early. Barbecue goes down a little bit low. Barbecue is incredibly low. And Fest takes him out with a pipe bomb coming out of nowhere. Both teams use their cries first. But Clockwise is able to equalize on Jack. Both main supports around, and both Lucio's out immediately. No supports. Dire goes down. Clockwise goes down, and Kua again asserting his dominance, showing why this hatch is so valuable. Poi is able to put one in the back of his head, and it looks like the numbers are going to favor the Owl.
I really did like seeing that the Foxians did switch to a Junkrat, though, instead of running double hit scan with their team comp. I feel like it gave them a little bit more flexibility with how the team fight goes and flows.
Well, now Barbecue has to be really careful because of the fact that any pipe bomb, he'll go down low immediately, and he does not have the same escape abilities as Jack. Both teams opting in for this early re-engage, poking around a little bit. Vest getting close to that bomb, but Red Cactus is already close to that May. Has to use Ice Block early. Both teams catching each other. Sleep Giant comes out, but Vest takes out Clockwise early on. Both teams running a little low. Dire does have to back up Kua as well. Which all comes out first. Red Cactus is going to get to that Blizzard. More likely we get to see that Blizzard come out first. Both teams taking a lot of damage early on. Dire takes out Kuneo. Red Cactus has to do something, does absolutely nothing with that, and they just ought to save them for the next fight instead. It looks for a pretty clean wipe, except Best going down to Clockwise. Akua takes down Poi, and that's a quick flip for the Foxians at about the halfway point.
I did enjoy that the Foxians did make it to where that the Owls could not fall back and that back wall, and they were all stuck right next to point. I think that was a really good play by them, honestly.
Well, now we have big ults on both sides. Looks like War's going to get to that beat first, which couldn't come in vital against this Blizzard. Red Cactus really has to find a way to get in here because the team's going to know when to kite. Beat should be coming out right now, and Beat does in fact come out. Barbecue goes down to Dire early on, and we see the Blizzard. Dire is caught in that Blizzard, and Poi is able to take down Best Dire. Akua goes down, but Jack is currently doing what Akua could not, and able to take the rest down and get another quick fight from the Foxians. Two big ults coming out from the Owls, but nothing to really respond for it.
Honestly, the Owls here, I'm thinking they're kind of needing a little bit of a hit scan to help poke out the Junk, who's shooting just from afar. Because all they have is May and Venture right now, not really to poke out. They do have Ana, though, but I feel like that's just not enough, as Ana has to focus on keeping their tank up.
Both teams coming back. This time support ults are in favor of the Owls, so you think they might be able to win this fight first. Poking around a little bit, trying to get just Junk. Clockwise comes out with that ult. Big ult that does nothing, but Dire is able to find his dead to Poi. Poi is able to find the knife. Vesco is able to figure one out. Rex Cactus, Big Sleep coming out on the pop. Conejo is able to find his equal and more. Jack is able to find Barbecue. And suddenly we're seeing equal supports on both sides. Dire is able to come back early. Vesk is low, but the Owls are able to flip it in their favor and are able to tick it up. Let's see if they're going to be able to disengage in time. The Owls are able to take down Best, and that just means end of the fight. But Jack was able to take down Conejo. Clock was able to take down Akua, but Dire was able to click on Clockwise. And it's kind of just turned into just random duels with each team. Red Cactus switches over to the Genji, which we've seen so deadly on. Poi is able to get some good damage on, and is trying to tick up the point. Red Cactus is able to find Dire. Jack is able to find Barbecue, though, and it's turned into an even fight. Again, all-out brawl on the point right now. Not really favoring any one team. Red Cactus goes down. All coming up from Boy is able to find Best. Best is the only one. Speed coming out from Conejo. And we're seeing that all come out. Poi is able to find two. But the Foxians are able to reverse the point. Currently, Conejo's the only one on point. Akua is able to find 2 again. He is just eating his cake, taking it 2, and taking the whole bakery along while he's at it. Barbecue's able to take down Jack, and it's an even fight, both in last fight territory. Big ult coming out from Dire. Is able to find one on Barbecue and Conejo. Both able to go down. War is able to find Red Cactus, and it looks like Foxians are able to hold on, forcing us to a map 3. Are any member of the Owls able to touch in time? We're seeing Barbecue go over to the Kiriko. We do see Clockwise able to touch in time, but Clockwise incredible low goes down to Dire, and suddenly the Owls find themselves down to 4 men. All 5 men are up. We have a junk tower coming in, but Dire goes down, and suddenly they're out with the town. Poi able to find that knife on Tire, but big Tire coming in from Poi, able to find Poi. Jack's able to take down Corneo. Akua with that Bob's able to take down Barbecue. Red Cactus on point, but he just becomes fodder for the Bob, and the Foxians are able to hold on and force us to map number 3.
Honestly, it was such a long team fight. I feel like the Owls should have regrouped up and been able to all push point as they were staggering them. I feel like it was such a long team fight that they're just letting the Foxians get so much progression on that timer.
Completely agree with that, and it was just kind of weird because they were taking these weird split fights. There wasn't really a true disengage. It kind of turned into brawls all over the place, and I think while you do like the team synergy that is coming from the Owls, I do think that the one thing that the Foxians have going for is they just have the sheer power of their DPS. And Akua and Nuvetsk are able to just find these really good picks early on. And we see flips back to similar comps. Poise going back onto that Winston that he did so well on map 1. We're seeing the Red Cactus back on Tracer Clockwise is going to go on that Pharah. Dire is going to stick on the Queen. Vest is going to stick on that junk that he did quite well. Akua on that Legendary Ash. Jack and War. Akua is immediately able to find one on Poi, and Conejo just has to go down immediately. And that already spells the end of the team fight. Barbecue goes down along with Conejo. They are joined together in death. Clockwise falls to Akua's hit scan. That is an incredibly fast team fight for the Foxians.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that the Owls here went back to Winston after seeing the Foxians have JQ for both map 1 and map 2. Kind of leading himself into a little bit of a disadvantage against the JQ if she lands a knife on him.
Both teams right now are trying to circle around each other. Vez is able to find Red Cactus. Sucks as a Tracer to be stuck on that trap. That just means a quick respawn. Conejo is in danger of going down the edge, and Poi has to get him back up in time. They're waiting for their Red Cactus, and Clockwise goes down again to this Akua. This Akua Ash has just been unstoppable. Conejo burns that res early on. Point puts on a little bit of pressure onto the point, but no real danger right now. Dives back onto Dire and Jack. Good use of Shout, able to save Jack from potential danger. Poi goes down incredibly low, and Dire just shreds him to pieces in the meat mincer. Red Cactus is currently poking on point, but it's going to have to be forced out early. Without his tank, he doesn't really have any chance of pressure. Again, another quick team fight, and again, Akua goes down to Clockwise. You kind of wonder how many times Clockwise is going to stay on this Pharah before he decides to find, and Akua is just going off. Check this man's comps for some hacks or something. This man is just blazing his saddles across the team right now.
Yeah, honestly, I'm trying to find out what the Monkey is looking to dive on, because they have a now they have an Echo that they could just kind of fly above and help poke the person that the Monkey's going after. But Monkey's just been kind of trying to fight the JQ head on, which leads into the JQ's favor.
All right, and we see the Nano come out of the Barbecue. Poi goes with it, but immediately goes down early. Red Cactus just dies to Dire immediately. Rex is just not really having a good time on this map. Akua takes down Conejo. Vest is able to take down Clockwise. You do see a point flip, however, from Poi and Barbecue, but they're going to have to back out immediately. Barbecue doesn't have the mobility. He's going to just have to back out. Poi's going to try to get to that primal, but is he able to get it in time? He's going to have to get out, and he is taken down by Dire, and you kind of wonder if he just should have escaped early. Barbecue's going to most likely get late Saturday, and he does by Vest, and we're starting to see ults online. Clockwise is able to take down the Vest, but Jack should be there, except Clockwise is able to take down 2, and suddenly you think that the Owls are potentially able to fight this one back. Red Cactus takes down Akua, and it suddenly goes in favor of the Owls. Poise back on point. He's getting close to that primal rage. We see the duplicate come out of Clockwise. He was able to build that up quickly. Gets on the Junker Queen. He's able to take down Dire. Red Cactus takes out War. And that is a fight flip for the Owls coming in at the very last moment.
That was a very interesting res that we saw the Foxians try to do. I mean, they didn't really know where the rest of the Owls teammates were, but that was still a pretty risky res knowing that all their teammates were back online.
And now all eyes are going to be on Dire, who, if he's able to get this off, is just going to get a free mass amount of damage with his ult. That Rampage is going to have nothing that's going to be able to stop it unless a massive sleep can come out of Barbecue. Boy jumps on early, trying to engage this fight early, burns off Primal early, but the rest of the Foxians are pretty healthy right now. You see that rush come out from War immediately to respond to that Primal Rage. Boy's going to have to be very careful. He's going down incredibly low. He jumps out of there in time. Koneo uses that Valkyrie. Both teams using ults, not really having much effect right now except Stancing, but the amount of point capture continues to tick up in favor of the Owls. Owls goes out and two are caught. Barbecue and Red Cactus are caught by that jump between up. Boy and Clockfight is able to take two out. Barbecue and Red Cactus do go down in the end to Dire and Akua. But we do see a point flip from the Foxians. Now the question is, can they close this one out? Dire does take out Boy, which looks good for them. Red Cactus uses the high noon, not too much effect. And Akua goes down very, very weak and is ultimately taken on by Clockwise. Clockwise goes down to Jack. Nice to see the Mercy get that kill. Vest takes out the Conejo. Jack is able to res Akua, and Dire is able to take down Red Cactus. And it looks done and dusted as the Foxians take map number 1.
Honestly, I feel like the Owls should have stayed a little bit more on point there at that last part when they knew that the Foxians had to go into point with the time ticking. But they just felt like they weren't on point. They weren't kind of grouped up. That just allowed the Foxians all walk onto point and take control.
Couldn't agree more. Now the question will be, can the Owls fight that, or can the Foxians just take us to an early match point? We'll see you right after the break.
These beats are the purest. Prove it.
Welcome back. We see an early win for the Foxians. Really scrappy game, but able to pull it out with a 2-1 victory to start off against the Owls. Can the Owls battle back? I'm joined here again by Life. My name is TheLaw, and as we head into map 2 on Blizzard World. What do you think, what kind of comps we're going to see tonight, Life, on this map?
On this map, I'm kind of looking at a little bit of more poke on the defensive side and maybe even dive on the offense. And it looks like I might be right here. We're seeing Sigma on the defensive side and Winston on the offense. It looks like it's going to be a little bit stressful for the defense having Sig into Winston, but we'll see how their team plays this out.
Excuse me. Couldn't agree more. Both teams right now kind of showing off potentially using this Juno. So as we were talking about before the game began, we were seeing whether or not Juno was going to make an impact, and now we get to watch Conejo and Jack potentially use it. We might have a reset here. No reset coming through as both teams start off. We see this poke comp coming in for Dire. Fyxestroll is going to show off this orb. And let's see how the Foxians respond to this. Because the Torb does dampen that dive a little bit, but immediately Poi is able to take space early on. A little bit of damage going on, but nothing too crazy. Ward does have to use that Suzu early on, which doesn't bode well for the fight. Akua tosses out that dynamite, not able to find anyone to connect. And right now we're just seeing the Foxians kind of poking around, rotating along with this. And it looks like the Owls are trying to rotate around, but Ward immediately goes down, is able to get that Suzu back in time. Ward does go early. Jack and Ward are incredibly weak. Akua goes late as well, but Fyxestroll is able to take one down on Poi. And that should just be a reset for the Foxians. As we see Akua take down Clockwise. The Barbecue does take down Fyxestroll. Akua does take down Barbecue in Vengeance, though. Still seeing a little bit of fight as we see Conejo and Wrecked Cactus go down early on, and that should be an early fight win for the Owls.
Yeah, I can kind of see that the Foxians Juno did get a little bit separated from their group, kind of limiting just Anna to heal their whole team as they're trying to push objective. But right now, we do see all the defense on high ground.
Same thing, dive on top. Poi does take a lot of damage, though. Goes incredibly weak, has to back out immediately. Barbecue's getting a lot of all charge for that. And we already see Dire pull back early. Fyxestroll just keeps poking around, trying to get one of those flankers out early on. Clockwise goes down incredibly early, but is able to get healed back up in time. Conejo is in an interesting position along with War. The Red Cactus goes down to Fyxestroll early on. Jack has to flow backwards. Laku is able to take down Barbecue, and Poise is currently stamping down. Clockwise trying to take down Fyxestroll just puts one on the back of his head, says, you can try again later when you get out of spawn. And Kua just takes down Conejo. And again, just Foxians are just not able to break this stout defense that we're seeing early on. Whenever they dive in, it just seems to be a really good rotation from the Owls.
Yeah, honestly, we are seeing Clockwise trying to make a little flank going onto the escort portion of the map, but I don't know if Clockwise kind of sticks with the Foxians, we might be able to see an early pick or two from them as they dive onto the Sigma.
Foxians again start pushing their way back up. Clockwise taking a good amount of damage from that Torb turret. He's able to take down the Torb turret with his sticky bombs. Multiple ults on both sides. We see Akua able to take down Clockwise early. Dire slept out of his ult. Hate to see that, but Jack is able to use his beam. Poi is able to take down two though with four. Akua is able to fire one up on Conejo. Even as the ult comes down, Poi is able to take down Akua. Bob does come out, is able to prevent some Poi capture for the time being. Dire does take down Barbecue. Dire and Poi bring out the 1v1, and you just think that Dire is ultimately going to have to go down against this Poi Winston, and Red Cactus is able to finish off the final blow on Dire. And finally, Foxians have cracked the stalwart defense with only less than a minute left, so overall, good defense. You've got to be happy with that if you're the Owls. And you might still get the contest. Fyxestroll is able to use the more coal armor in the place, and we see War fire off that rush at the same time. Clockwise is able to use that copy, but is immediately blown out of it as Fyxestroll puts him back into spawn. And the Foxians are down one, and Poi is able to take down Akua though, which could equalize this fight. But again, after back down, Dire is going to come back on that Winston. Neither team really has any ults to come up with. The closest you think might be Red Cactus on this pulse bomb. Barbecue goes down incredibly low, and ultimately goes down to Jack's torpedoes. Fight favor goes in favor of Owls, but Jack goes down to Clockwise immediately. Both teams poking around, trying to get in. Conejo goes incredibly low and goes down to Dire. No support for the Foxians. as Foxians just have to push forward and hope that they can get on. Boy goes down incredibly low, is taken down ultimately by Dire, and this is most likely going to be fight and fork. The Foxians Dire is able to take down clockwise. Red Keg is doing as much as he can, but not able to build that that pulse bomb in charge. Maybe he's taken down by HV Sex turret, and that is it. Only 61.9% for the Foxians, as the Owls are able to hold on.
What a good defense we saw. Honestly, I'm really liking the Torbjorn pick, as it's kind of helping stop the monkey. But as we can see, they did hold out with the counter monkey. We had two monkeys going on, both playing a little bit of dive, but we saw the Owls play a little bit more of a defensive dive with Torbjorn in the back. So honestly, I can't wait to see how the second round goes out for the Owls on attack.
Absolutely, and I just realized that it was the, let's see, so it was the Owls run Foxians on defense. It's hard to remember which team is which without the titles right in front of them. So we will see the defense coming out for the Foxians. Let's see what they're able to pull out. HV Seconds again poking us with this Torb. And it is important to reminder to our viewers who may not be as familiar with Overwatch, because the Foxians were able to get 61.9%, they could technically win this map as well if they were able to put down a stalwart defense. It really comes down to which team gets the most values. We're seeing Red Cactus go on this Hanzo. Interesting choice.
Not only that, we're also seeing a Torb on offense. This is a pretty unique, but we know that the Owls are probably going to be playing monkey here, which they do have the right idea, but we'll see how the Torb plays out here on offense.
Just a little under 62% is all the Owls need to force us into a tie and put us on map number 3. Can they do it, or able the Foxians hold on? Boy goes up, or Dire goes off early, forcing Red Cactus off to the high ground. Immediately rotation comes out from the Foxians as they just pull back. Just a little bit of poke damage coming in from both sides. Ward goes down a little bit low. You do hear that Suzu come out, and Ward just gets blown up as a result. The point is taken down by Kua. Kua's on this Tracer now, going off of his favored ats right now. And now the Foxians down the tank. They're going to have to weather the storm without him. The question is, can Ward get back in time to really start putting real point pressure on? Dire does take down Barbecue, and immediately we're starting to see that point capture. And we're already getting close to that 61.9%, and that just looks like it's going to be a fast fight win as the Owls even it up.
That was a pretty good offense that we saw by the Owls. I feel like the Foxians kind of just stayed on the high ground. They overstayed their welcome a little bit so that the monkey was able to make them all low.
Whoop, I apologize. It's the Foxians who would get that, not the Owls. Apologies for that. But it's the Foxians take it map 2 and are on game point as we go into the break. We'll be right back with you.
These beats are the purest. Prove it, prove it. purist. Bro it.
Welcome back, everyone. As we come from the break, the Foxians taking a dominant 2-0 lead. Are the Owls able to come back? I'm joined here with Life. This is TheLaw as we head into map number 3, Coliseum, with honestly probably the best theme to enter into a map to.
Honestly, I'm a little shocked to see that the Owls swapped in Barbecue as their tank. Potentially, maybe even. Yes, we do see with Barbecue on their tank, they're trying to change it up a little bit, see if that changes the flow and gets them their first win on and go on the map 4.
Barbecue showing off this Ryan, that would be entertaining. Poi is going to go onto the DPS with Wreck Cactus going onto the support. And on the other side, we see nothing has changed. Dire, HV Sec, Akua, Jack, and War. As both teams showing us kind of different styles of this brawl rush style. Conejo is going to come out on that Lucio, so it does favor a little bit onto the Ryan comp, but we just see early on Barbecue just going out early. Both teams are able to get to the point pretty early on. Barbecue just swinging away. Dire has to be very careful. And Barbecue does go a little bit down, but he's already starting off 20% on that ult charge. As they just push forward, they do have that shield advantage, which means that their poke is just going to be a little bit later. HV Sec is going to go down early as it's kind of a switch of roles. And Barbecue's able to take down War early, and support advantage immediately goes in favor of the Owls. Jack's able to take down BBQ though. Clockwise able to take down Dire, and both tanks are out of the game early on. Barbecue should be able to get back a little bit quicker, especially with that Lucio ult. Jack goes down early. Clockwise able to take down Jack, and the Owls taking early pressure to push forward and get a good amount of point pressure. A little surprising to see HV Sec on this Ash instead of Akua as Barbecue re-enters the fights, and they just give that up and immediately start pushing back.
Honestly, I think in the JQ from the Foxians might be a little bit bullied, seeing that we have a Mei and a Reaper trying to go in, trying to contest that JQ, but you never know.
Full rush comp really coming out for the Owls. Wreck Cactus uses that all early on, and you see the Foxians just having to kite that. Dire's able to take down Conejo. Poi takes down Akua, and HE Sec takes the Wreck Cactus and Clockwise, showing just as adept on that Ash as Akua is. War takes down Poi, and Barbecue's the only one left as Dire is able to take him out with a clean knife as they're able to get their first clean team fight and start getting progress on this point.
Yeah, especially with the Foxians Ash not really getting contested at all. She can kind of just do a lot of damage from poke. There's nobody else can really stop her. It's a little bit oppressive.
A lot of ults from both sides coming in as Barbecue just goes down in a huge ult from HV Sec. Clockwise able to take down War. Big ult coming out from Dire though. Ult coming down from Clockwise able to take down Jack, but better ult just coming out from the side of the Foxians as the Owls burn every ult that they had in the bank except for that B. You have to imagine switches coming out, but that big shatter coming out as the Foxians able to erupt the storm and get the lead on this point as they re-engage. Barbecue is going to be looking to get that shatter back up and early as the Foxians just kind of have to kite that and push that back.
Yeah, the Owls here did burn 4 ults opposed to the Foxians 3. They are a little bit low on ults, but we'll see how Blade works out with Beat.
And Akua gets Ajax's Conejo with that beat. What a pity. Akua is able to take down 2. Akua's just showing that whatever he plays, he's able to win, but he's not able to get away from the German tank in time. Doesn't matter though, because Jack's able to take down Barbecue. Dire takes down 2. And that is a clean fight win for the Foxians. What a big Ajax coming in from Conejo.
Yeah, that Ajax was pretty sad to see. But as we can see, we have no ults coming online shortly, so we'll see how this skill versus skill goes.
Foxians able to get the first butt scratch mode activated as they get that first point. Early jabs coming on, that immortality field has to come out early. Poi's able to fade down Jack. Dire is able to equalize that though on Clockwise, and both teams are now down a player. Akua is able to take down Conejo, but Barbecue's able to equalize on Akua. No flex support for other sides. Poi's able to take down the HV Sec. Red Cactus for the Owls as they regain capture of the bot.
Oh yeah, the Owls here do have to push a little bit to get the lead, but the Foxians are kind of holding on strong, even with their JQ getting shot at by Cass and May and it being shielded off. I'm wondering how hard it might be for the Foxians JQ, but we'll see how this goes in the next fight.
Big ults coming in on both sides. Big slam onto War. Oh no, you wish you could have that back immediately. Shatter coming in from Barbecue is able to find a Kua. Red Cactus is able to find one on two. Dire is able to find a 3-man ult. Barbecue's gonna go down. Jack is able to take down Red Cactus. Barbecue goes down. The Dire's called Clockwise finds one on Clockwise. HV6 able to find 2 headshots back to back on Clockwise. And boy, and that is a fight win for the Foxians. Able to turn that around. Ult coming in from Clockwise. No idea where that is, and you kind of wonder if that was just yeah, fat button. Oops.
Yeah, as we can see here, the Foxians don't have any ults, but the Owls did have 2, but then they accidentally fat-fingered that castle. But as they're coming up on Lucio as well, they gotta have the ult advantage in this fight.
You do have to look at Poi for that potential mail to see if they're able to get something out of it. Kind of see different positioning from that Akua. Jack is able to use his ult. Ult comes out from Poi, is able to freeze up Jack and War. Big ult, HV6 is able to find the one on Clockwise. On point though, Dire does find one on Clockwise. And any advantage that Mayall got is immediately nullified. Akua finds one onto Red Cactus. Koneo is able to find one on Jack. Beat comes out too late from Koneo, and Akua punishes him again. These beats have just not been going the way of Koneko.
Oh yeah, but now that they don't have beat, we're gonna have to see Akua go on with Blade and possibly even get 2, maybe even 3 coming into this next fight. It's a little bit dangerous for the Foxians, but you never know what's gonna happen.
This is a big fight. 2 ults coming online in way of the Foxians. Can the Owls battle this backwards? This is going to be the nail in the coffin. Akua is able to come out with the blade. Goes down early. HV6 is able to get down Clockwise. Files up on Red Cactus. And is able to file up on Koneo. And Akua slicing and dicing. Call this man Gordon Ramsay because he's a dangerous with a knife in his hand. And follows one up on Poi for dessert as we see the team wipe coming in from the Foxians.
Yeah, it was a little bit sad that they did use a very late beat, the Owls did.
All comes out from Dire, hits Barbecue early on, and you kind of wonder if that's a nail on the coffin here, just being able to show a big push and really cement their lead.
You do have to be a little bit worried here. We're seeing Shatter come up.
Big ults coming in on side. Barbecue gets a Shatter down. Jack is found from it, but Red Cactus goes down to the hands of Akua, who's just been deadly on this Genji. Able to find Clockwise, and this is just looking like a dead. Barbecue's able to find Dire, though. Are they going to be able to survive in time? No, Jack's able to put one in the back of Barbecue's head. War finds Conejo, and this is just looking like it's going to be the icing on the cake as HV6 finds Poi. Is anyone able to touch? They are not. And the Foxians, with a dominant 3-0 win over the Owls, start off this season with a win. What a game. I mean, both sides just playing their hearts out. And I think, honestly, any player on the Foxians right now could be up for the
Player of the match.
Player of the match. But I mean, I'm kind of wondering if we're watching the player of the match right now. He showed it on Genji. He showed it on Ashe. It feels like whenever Akua was needed, he was fired off.
I completely agree. Whenever they needed to have an ult, he always had one ready just to go right into and clean up the team. Honestly, he might be a very strong contender for this player of the game.
And I think well deserved. We'll throw it right to a break, and then we'll be right back with an interview with Akua. Give us 1 second. We're going to drag him in here real fast, it turns out. And he left a channel. Give us 1 second as we figure out whether Akua actually deserves it, or if we're just going to have to give it to someone else. We do like Akua, though, and we do have to shout out Akua for what was a really phenomenal game. So give us 1 second as we figure out who our player of the match is going to go to. Perfect. Let us know when we're on. Welcome back from a brief break. We brought Akua with us, our player of the match. Akua, congratulations on a dominant first win. How are you feeling after that victory today?
Feeling good.
That was, I mean, you showed it on the hit scan. You showed it on the projectiles. Or really anything you can't play at this point?
I'll play whatever.
Ever so modest. Well, Kua, we got our one question for you. If it wasn't you who got player of the match tonight, who would you give it to and why?
I'd give it to Sun.
All right, and why
He was
is
hard
that?
ghosting. Hard ghosting.
Hard ghosting? All
Yeah,
right.
he was ghosting so hard.
All right. Well, congratulations again, Akua, on your first win of the victory. I look forward to seeing more of your games. Well, that is it for us here at Aurora Esports. Thank you so much for joining. Congratulations to the Foxians on their victory. And a big thank you to Life for his first time on stream tonight. Big hand for Life for joining us.
Thank you, thank you. It was a fun time. I'm glad I could be here in cast for the first time in Aurora, even the first time ever. It was really fun.
We say thank you and have a wonderful night to everyone. And we will see you Monday, September 2nd, when the Quantico Quails take on the Chipped Cuppa.